that I'll.
Please, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And also it is good to know that all the participants are from Karnataka. That also gives me some kind of a cushion to speak in Kannada also in between whenever it is prompted.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, ellaru Kannada barodrinda that's an advantage, because we don't get this kind of a group, because we've been teaching online and participants are from different parts of the country. So therefore we will never get that luxury of using our mother tongue. Anyway, I think this is an added advantage for me.
ಈಗ ಬಾಯಿಂದ ಮಾತಾಡೋ ಬದಲು ಹೃದಯದಿಂದ ಮಾತಾಡಬಹುದು.
ಅದು ನಮಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಇದಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ತನಕ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಬಂದು ಕನ್ನಡ ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಶಾಲೆಯಿಂದ ಬಂದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಖುಷಿ ಕೊಡುತ್ತೆ. ಇರ್ಲಿ, that's good. Anyway, let me start sharing the screen. Okay, I think
Yes, sir.
ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಸರ್?
Yes, sir. Managing change and innovation. Yes, sir. Good,
Yes, sir.
Full screen ಮಾಡಿ, please.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Good, sir.
I shall start. Yes. Now this is a topic which is considered to be a soft skill, but personally I do feel that managing change and innovation requires really hard minds. Unless your mind is tuned for change and innovation, I think it's more of a harder skill rather than a softer skill. Let us see that, towards the end of this session, whether this is a soft skill or a hard skill. And this is one concept that we normally teach in management. As a part of our management theory and practices, we use that in our corporate businesses where change and innovation is the only constant. Everything else changes, but change and innovation always remains. Means unless you adapt yourself to change and innovation, unless you are in line with what the times are suggesting you to be, I don't think you'll be able to make a career out of whatever profession that you are in. What I am now planning to do is give you a brief conceptual idea about what this change and innovation all about. What are the key issues there for first 15 or 20 minutes, and then take you through to the journey that we have, all of us as teachers have gone through, having put in lots of experience. I myself, as Dr. Nanjun Swami introduced, I put in more than 13 years at the undergraduate level before moving to university. And when you do this transition, there are supposed to be lots of changes and innovations that confront you. And as a teacher, you have to navigate that change. I would also like to kind of, present before you my experiences in my journey of 27 years as a teacher. And also I would like to get some inputs from you, whether you have also gone through the same or you have some other experiences with change and innovation, and how did you face them? How did you manage them? I would like to get some inputs from you also. Let this be an interaction. For the first half an hour or so, I'll just go through the modalities of giving you the PPTs, giving you the concepts, and then I'll come back to and share my experience, and I would like to get your experiences also. As we are the teachers now, during this crisis, as you could see, that we have been able to manage so much of changes that has taken place in our delivery mode as a teacher also. And from a traditional chalk and talk teacher, chalk and talk teacher ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೊಂಥರ ಅದರ ಇದೇ ಬೇರೆ. ನಾವು ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಇವತ್ತು ನೆನಪಿದೆ, ಕಾರ್ಕಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮುಗಿಸ್ ಬಂದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಮ್ದು ಕೈಯೆಲ್ಲ ಸೀಮೆ ಸುಣ್ಣ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಫುಲ್ ಶರ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಸೀಮೆ ಸುಣ್ಣ. ಸರಿ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಂದ ಕೈ ತೊಳ್ಕೊಂತ ಇದ್ವಿ, ಹಿಂಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕೈ ತೊಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒದರ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು we have done a great job, we are so satisfied. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಈಗ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟಾಕ್ ಬಂದ್ವಿ, ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟಾಕ್. ಆಸ್ ಐ ಮೂವ್ ಟು ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ, ICT ಬಂತು, ಪವರ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬಂತು. ನನಗೆ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಪೆನ್ ಡ್ರೈವ್ ಹೆಂಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. Then I just thought, with a small piece of a gadget, how can I make a presentation? That, and then I got used to that kind of a teaching mode also. Now with the pandemic, it is altogether different. The change in the innovation that now we are seeing is act and talk. Act and talk. Teachers have been made actors. They should be knowing where the camera is, what is the light on your face, and how your voice is being heard on the other side. All these are the changes that we have gone through in this process of 20, 25, 27 years. So we have navigated that. As teachers, we have been able to live up to whatever changes that was on offer. Now, I would like to discuss that in the second part. And towards the end, I would like to just make a note of what future holds good for us. What are the changes and innovations that are taking place at the higher education level, which is the space that we are operating. And let us see how we need to get our, approach towards teaching in the new normal. So these are the three phases that I would like to discuss. I'll start with the concept part. I'll just rush through. I'll be speaking on it. Need not necessarily that I'll be explaining each and every line that is there on the slide. I will give you the spirit of that entire slide rather than the letter of that slide. Okay, now we are talking about turbulent times. There is a changing workplace, and organizations, whichever is it a business organization, a hospital, or a non-profit organization, or an educational institutions, need to continuously adapt to new situations if at all they want to survive and progress. And one of the most dramatic elements in this entire change ecosystem is a shift towards technology-driven workplace. Now, technology is making its presence felt. Of course, we were already into a technology-driven workplace before COVID also, because it is called as Industrial Revolution 4.0, where technology is very, very dominant. We call it as digital revolution and its extensions. Now, unless you are technologically savvy and use technology in all walks of life, then you will not be able to make an impression in the society now. Now, technology has made our adaptation to change and innovation even much more faster. And now ideas, information, and relationships are becoming critically important during these turbulent times. And organizational change is imperative. You just cannot avoid it. You have to adopt a new idea of behavior as an organization as a whole. And this, whatever the points that are given there, is for an industry, for a corporation, for a business corporation. Now, what kind of change that you look at in today's successful organizations? One is a incremental change. The other one is transformational change. So incremental change is an effort to gradually improve the basic operational and work processes in different parts of the organization. But what is a transformational change? It is completely doing a redesigning and renewing the entire organization. Now, I think because of the COVID, we are looking at a transformational change rather than only incremental change. So this change is imperative. It is constant, and it is done by all successful organizations. Now, what are the sequence of events that leads to change? What actually triggers change? One is your environmental forces, no doubt about that. You all know that. The second is you have to take them into consideration. Then this will drive the need for change, and then people initiate the change and implement the change. And this is the flow chart. Now, what are the forces for change? Environmental forces. Again, this is in the context of a company, but I would like to tell you, whichever space that you are in, as teachers, customers means students, competitors means other educational institutions. Technology obviously will have an impact, as I said in the very beginning. Then economics, yes, it also plays a role. What is happening in the global place? How does academics are being carried out in the global place is also relevant for us, because we happen to be now in a flat world. Say, man has conquered the distance. Because of technology, you can sit here and take a class for a student in say US or Australia or in Delhi or wherever. So that has made all our changes and innovations linked to whatever that is happening in the international arena also. And internally, obviously, all those activities that go for a change will definitely have an impact. So both outside factors and internal factors will. Why there is a need to change? Because you want to improve your performance. You want to see that the current procedures are not up to the standard. A new idea or a technology could improve the current performance. In order to have improvement in the performance, you would like to embrace change and innovation. How do we initiate? This is a critical phase. This is a critical phase of change management. A stage where ideas that solve perceived needs are developed. You search for those ideas using creativity. But now, any change or innovation that takes place in any organization, there must be presence of creative people. Say, people are two different types. There are, I think, theory X and theory Y. The McGregor gives a theory called as, now, people who are working in organizations can be bracketed under two types. Theory X. Theory X are those people who are always lazy. They dislike work. They have to be forced. They have to be coerced to do the work. Whereas on the other side, theory Y people are these people, creative people for whom work is as natural as play. They would like to, accept more and more responsibilities. They have got that inner drive to perform. And these are called as creative people. With these creative people only, you can initiate the change. And what are these characteristics of these creative people? One is they're open-minded, they're virginal, less authority and independence, self-confidence. This is where they're not worried about the power and the positions. They're not worried about the authority, but they're worried about creating change. I mean, constantly improving their performance. They're playful, undisciplined, curiosity. These are the words which defines a child. They're childlike, they're inquisitive, they're inquiring, they're questioning, they're playful because they want to explore. And they have a persistent commitment to make the changes and make their contribution affect the larger part of the society. Now, these are the kinds of people that are actually required in order to see that change and innovation takes place in any organization for that matter. But on the contrary, on the other extreme, you always have, whenever there is a change that is being initiated, there is a natural resistance to change also. I'll come to that. But whenever a new idea or an innovation takes place, it doesn't occur by itself. It will not occur by itself. There will be an idea champion. I mean, a person who is behind all these. And normally in organization, it is the leader. Finally, it boils down to the leader. The leader who sees the need for and produces change within the organization. Someone has to take the lead. Someone has to put it before. Someone has to convince the other colleagues and initiate a change. And whether that person, that leader has got clarity in his idea, whether he'll be able to communicate them in a manner that is accepted by everybody, And there will be cynics also. Cynics andre ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಗೊಣಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಏನಾದ್ರು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಒಬ್ರು ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್. They're always, I'll come to that. See, these are the four types of people, 4 roles in an organizational change. You just have to decide where you are as an important part of that ecosystem. Are you an inventor? Do you develop a new idea? Or an inventor who develops an idea, but you champion that idea? Means you believe that, yes, this idea can be visualized, you can conceptualize that, and yes, it can be implemented. And sponsor is also required. Any change requires, lots of resources being attached. Whether we have that resources or whether we have certain barriers. And also you have a critic. These critics always gives you a reality check. They say that whenever a change is being initiated, they say they resist it, because they would like to look at whether these changes are implementable. See, are they very just like slogans, headlines? Bare headlines athwa idana ನಾವು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡೋರು ಕೂಡ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಈ 4 ಜನ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡು 4 ತರದ ರೋಲ್ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡು we are going to initiate the change. Now, what is resistance to change? As I said, change is the new constant. Change is the new normal. Innovation is the new normal under uncertain times. But whenever you do that, naturally, by nature, people have a resistance to change, because they are now accustomed to a particular style of functioning, and they are already in certain comfort zones. Now, will they come out of their comfort zones and touch the alien areas? Will they be able to, come out of that and see that this change is for their benefit only? One, why people resist change? Number one, they think that there will be a personal loss in case that change happens. So I will be at loss. Now my job or my role in the organization, role in the institution will come down. So there is a self-interest that resists them to go for the change. Then lack of understanding and trust. Whenever a change is initiated, they feel that they don't trust the people who are initiating that change, or else they don't understand why this change has been initiated. And they also feel that there is uncertainty around us. Is it the right time to change? And different assessment and goals. People who will be affected by innovation may assess the situation differently. Even though innovation is good in the larger interest, but when they take it personally, they may feel, yes, I'm going to be affected negatively by this change, so therefore I will resist. There is one theory given by force field analysis by Kurt Lewin, who says whenever you are doing a change, there are two forces. One is the driving force, what drives a change, and at the same time there are restraining. ಯಾವುದು ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಕಟ್ಟಾಕತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವುದು ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂದೂಡುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾವುದು ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನ ಅದೇ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ತಡೆ ಹಿಡಿಯುತ್ತೆ. Now the driving forces obviously are the opportunities and the innovations and better operational efficiency. But whether do we have enough monetary resources or human resources to do that? Whether the employees or the people who are a part of that organization have the adequate skills required? Because change should not be only for the sake of change. There must be some transition. There must be some improved performance. So in order to have improved performance, there must be some skilling. Whether that has been done with these restraining forces, these are the two things that you'll be looking at. And if you are able to make a balance between these two, then you can initiate the change. And how do we overcome? See, whenever a change is being initiated, whenever there is a resistance, then what are the tactics? This is what the management gurus have told. One is approach. Now, these are the approaches you can see on the left side. You educate them. See, Change is technical and users need accurate information analysis. Therefore, you do the training. Make them participate. Make them participate. Most of the time, why change fail is only because it is being forced from the top. The people who are actually the drivers of the change are not taken into consideration while doing the discussion. ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ. ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಒಂಥರ ಆಟೋಕ್ರಾಟಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅದು. ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೇಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನೀವು ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ, if they also are a part of the change process, then I think the resistance can be to a large extent reduced. Then negotiation. If you feel that on the people whom you are going to initiate the change have got the power over implementation, then obviously you have to negotiate to what extent the change can be initiated. Now, unless you negotiate and unless the top people who are the policy makers, they come about with a plan and then negotiate with the people who are going to implement, then the resistance can be negated. But the last one you can just see, coercion. If nobody is willing to accept the change, you may have to force. You may have to force. Yes, there is no way, you have to do it. Whether you like it or not, it has been thrust upon you. There is no more discussions here. You have to accept it, you do it. And so many things have happened in higher education these days. I'll come to those change later. Now, what does change in a system, in an organization, in an institution? What are those changes that takes place? The changes that takes place in the structure sometimes, driven by technology and the products that you manufacture and sell, and the people. Finally, people and structure decides the strategy, and then only the strategy can be implemented. I'll give that even more detailed in the next slides. Now, any change in the way in which the organization is designed and managed depends on the hierarchy of authority. We are talking about structural changes, administrative procedural changes, management changes, even the goals that you have kept for yourself can also go for a change. Then changes in the culture also is very important, because all changes have to be implemented by people only. So therefore, any organization nowadays, talk about business organization, there is a diversified culture. People coming from different regions, different religions, different countries also come together, and they come out with their different persona. But to make them come here, work towards a common goal is always a challenge. And unless you know them, unless you know their culture, unless you know the people, it requires lots of understanding of those diversities. Now I'll come to now. This is just the basic foundation that I gave you about what is change, what are the process of change, whether it is an incremental change or a transformational change, and why do people resist change, and how to cope up with the resistance. Now I'm coming to the crux. Now, this is the part which I have done myself. These are some of the slides that I have done myself. Now, for teachers, because once you apply them to your profession, are we be able to manage the change? Whether we have the right kind of attitude to accept change, embrace change. Now, what is that? What is that we do? We are actually doing it, even though we don't call it as managing change and innovation. We, all of us, all the teachers who are sitting here now, are doing this only. Is about teachers learning how to learn and transforming their knowledge into practice for the benefits of their students' growth. Over a period of time, we have all evolved as teachers. As we encounter different types of teaching environment, and it is formed over time as we prepare, teach, watch, learn from our students, colleagues, situations, and policies. Isn't it that we know? If I ask you, when you joined this profession as a teacher sometime back, 10-15 years back, and now where you are sitting now, there is a huge change that has taken place in you, in the way that you teach, in the way that you communicate, in the way that you interact with your students. And it all comes from an experience and an attitude for learning new things. Now we have, I would say, navigated the journey of teaching across different generation of students. ನಾನು 1994 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಿಮ್ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಒಂದು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮೈಲ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಪಾಪದವರು ಅವಾಗ, ಆಗೆಲ್ಲ ಈಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮಿಲಿನಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಿಡಿ, ಆಗಿನ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನನ್ ನೆನಪಿದೆ, ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ 10:30 11 ಗಂಟೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲೇ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅಪ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ಈಗ nowadays these millennial students, they still sleep, but their eyes are wide open. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. They make the distance between the 2 years as a national highway. ಏನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅದೇ ಸ್ಪೀಡಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೊರಟೋಗುತ್ತೆ. But we have to manage that generation also, because this is a millennial generation. ನಾನು ನಮ್ಮ ಒಬ್ಬ CR ಗೆ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ನಾನು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ನ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಪ್ರಿಪೋನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡು, ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ. He will, I call him and he will give me a reply saying that, sir, I am in a class, I will do that after the class is over. Means ಅವನು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ. ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಜನರೇಷನ್, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನೀವು ನ್ಯಾವಿಗೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ರಿಯಲ್, it requires lots of innovative style of teaching from your side. And as we manage the diversity in the composition of the students, no more the students are from, I don't know which colleges that you are from. Most of you, I believe, are from government colleges, and as you can definitely see that these are the students which have lots of inferiority complexes. Especially ನಾನು ರೂರಲ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಈಗ ನಾನು ಮೊದಲೇ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ನಾನು 10th ತನಕ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಾಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಇನ್ಫೀರಿಯಾರಿಟಿ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಿಡಿ, ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ನಾವು ಹೌ ಡು ವಿ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಮಾಂಗ್ ದೋಸ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್? ಈಗ now that I am in university, I go to different colleges or students or different universities, especially say if you go to Bangalore, you know that students are so confident, their communication skills are so excellent, ನಮ್ಗಿನ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. ಬಟ್ ವೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕಂಟೆಂಟೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನೋ ಬ್ರಿಟಿಷ್ ಇಂದನೇ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ತರ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಏನು ಸ್ಟಫ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು ಒಬ್ಬ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಗೆ, ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ರಿಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಅದು. ಐ ಆಸ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಹಿಮ್, you just narrate me the journey since the time you have taken this topic till the time you are sitting in front of me. Just give me a brief. He started, sir, I spoke to my guide, my guide, she gave me nearly 5-6 topics, then what I know, ನನಗೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, ನನಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಏನು ಕೇಳಕ್ ಬರೇ ಅಂತ ಅವನೇ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾನೆ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸರಿ, ಐ ಆಸ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಹಿಮ್ another question, apart from what else you know? ಅವನು, sir, I did not get you, can you come again? See the confidence level. ಬಟ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಹುಡುಗರು, ನಮ್ಮ ಇನ್ಫೀರಿಯಾರಿಟಿ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಹುಡುಗರು, ಪಾಪ, ಸರ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೀಡಿಯಂ ಸರ್, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್, ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ರೂರಲ್ ಓದಿದ್ ಸರ್. ಆಕ್ಚುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವ್ರು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಬಟ್ ದೇ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್. ನೌ ಆಸ್ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್, ಹೌ ವಿ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ದಟ್? How we manage, how you initiate a change in them, how do you build confidence in them? And do you know, we learn so many things through our interaction with the students. I'll tell you, as a teacher, I can very openly tell you, because you're all my fellow teachers, the most important source for learning or managing change or innovating yourself as a teacher are the students themselves. It is the student who makes the teacher, not the other way around. It is always the teacher who must learn the most. Otherwise, nothing has happened. These are the words of some great philosophers. In learning, you will teach, and in teaching, you will learn. ಈಗ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿರೋ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಕಲ್ತಿರೋರು ನಾವು. We see research mostly happens in the classrooms because their inquisitiveness, the way they ask questions sometimes make us to ponder over. Yes, there is a different angle to this. When we become teachers, you become a teacher is a lifelong student, as it is said. So therefore, students are the most important source of learning for us, and all our innovation as a teacher will take place within the four walls. Now, as we shift from one, how do we manage this change? You're all government teachers, government college teachers. You will have constant transfers every 3 years or 4 years, 5 years. And you cannot be rest assured that you will get the same subject that you are teaching in your earlier college. You may get completely a different subject, because it so happens, say for me, when I started teaching in Karkala, there were no people, no teacher, senior teachers used to take theory subjects. They used to take only practical subjects, accounting, taxation, and things like that. All the theory subjects used to be given to junior teachers. But when I got a transfer to Maranis College, Mysore, all seniors took theory subjects only. Patana madangillala, notes kotragoytu. All the complex numericals will be taught by us. I mean, junior teacher. So how do we adjust coming out of your comfort zone? Because you have your senior teachers. Some teachers are very collaborative and some teachers are intimidating also. Barala badappa nange ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು 13 ವರ್ಷ ನೀವು ಯುಜಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಪಠ ಮಾಡಿದಿರಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಲ್ರಿ, ಬಹಳ ಕಷ್ಟ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಬಹಳ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದಾರ್ರಿ, ಎಲ್ಲ 1.5 ಗಂಟೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪಠ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಹಾಗೆ ಹೀಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ intimidating. And at the same time, there is another category of teachers who always say, yes, you can do it, you just put in more efforts, you can do it. They always support. And also you learn from your younger colleagues how to use technology, because I happen to be in the transitional generation teacher, where we have got the rich ideals of senior teachers and also the technological input from our junior teachers. So the transition from chalk to talk and trick to talk and now act to talk has been very, very smooth, because we have been able to manage that change with the help of these people around you. So the change and innovation happens only when you are a team man. And if you are an isolated fellow, as it is there in the university setup, every teacher is in isolation. Every teacher is in an ivory tower. You cannot enter into the rooms of those professors unless you have a valid reason. ಒಂಥರ ಒಂದು ಇದನ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು, ನಾನು ಐ ಆಮ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಅ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಫೈಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಎನಿ ಫಾಲ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದೆಮ್, because they will be doing a lot of research. Obviously they require lots of privacy, that is for sure. But still, this navigation from one stage to another stage requires lots of change in your attitude. And then now research has become part and parcel of today's academic progress for any teacher. Now there are many teachers, even today I know for sure that they've been excellent teachers, but somehow on the research front they are found lacking. ಈಗ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದೊಂದು 1 week ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ, ಅದ್ರ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂತು? ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ನೀವು ಅದೇನೋ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿರುವಂತ ಒಂದು ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡದೇನೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಮೋಷನ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಲಿಂಕ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಈಗ ನಾನು ಕೂಡ ಆ ತರ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಹಿಂದೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗದಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಎಸ್ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಡೂ ಅ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ an opportunity to get a promotion. And also you should also invest your time in research. Now if you ask me, between research and teaching, I always I will not give 50-50 as they say that it goes hand in hand. I would say I will give 1 mark more to teaching, 1 mark less to research. It's only because I am in social sciences. Maybe the science teachers sitting over there may disagree with them, because they're I know that there are a few science professors with whom I have a very, very close interaction. They are very, very focused on research, and they really do research in its right earnest. Whereas in social sciences, there is a possibility that sometimes teachers may get into something called as, this is what I normally teach in my commerce classes, economics. There is one economic Nobel laureate by name Oliver Hart, who got Nobel Prize in economics in 2017. He talks about dysfunctional behavior. Means your primary job is teaching. Research should supplement teaching. Research should complement teaching, but research substitutes teaching. Means you don't teach at all. You do only research, because research gives you promotion. Research gives you the rewards, and therefore you exhibit such behavior that is going to give you rewards. Whereas teaching is never quantified. Teaching will never come in the assessment process. Even if it comes in the assessment process, it just skids through. It is only the third point, which is research and innovation. Therefore, you stick there only. In the process, you neglect the teaching. But let me tell you, a good teacher is always a good researcher, but a good researcher need not be a good teacher. This is my experience. I am open for discussion on that. All good teachers are always good researchers. Only thing is that they have to accept and do that. Those who are not doctorates out there, I'll just tell you, if you've been teaching for such a long time, and doing a PhD should come easily to you. Only thing is that the mental block has to be removed. I was told, these are the words which have been told to me by ex-Vice Chancellor, Professor Talwar, when I did not have a PhD, when I went for an interview. He said, if you don't have a PhD, people half of your ability will occupy double your position. So ಏನೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಥ್ರೆಶೋಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಡಿ. ಪಾಠಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಾಮುಖ್ಯತೆ ಕೊಡಿ. ಇದು ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಪ್ರಮೋಷನ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ. And then we have to manage different changing policy directions. And now this is the hot topic, the national educational policy, which the government is hell-bent on implementing from this year itself, and it wants to take the credit of being the first state in the entire country to implement this new educational policy. They appear to be in a hurry. I am not talking about the policy as such, but without a detailed debate and discussion, without making the participants in this educational ecosystem, part of the entire process, therefore there is a resistance. Say, my topic is very, very relevant to this particular situation we are now. Unless you take their participation, because they are the people who are going to implement it, maybe that is the reason they are finding it difficult to kind of come to a proper conclusion as to how to implement this policy. The policy as such is good. The policy vision document appears to be at least prima facie that it is dependent on holistic, interdisciplinary and futuristic kind of an education. But whether it has gone through the process of discussions and debates and then been implemented, or has it been implemented in a hurry? But whatever it is, as I said, if you are resistant to change, it will be coerced from the top and you may have to accept it. So anyway, you have to accept it next year. Why not start it from this year only? So this is how it is being projected. And we are also looking at possibly, see, I think as a teacher, I would say, when I was studying BBM long back, this multidisciplinary kind of instruction, I would say, for us, economics was taught by economics teacher only. Statistics was taught by an MSc statistics. Business communication was taught by English professors. Only the core management and commerce subjects were taught by the commerce and management teachers. All the peripheral subjects, say organizational behavior, was taught by MSc psychology during our days. It was very much broad-minded then. As it advanced, it became watertight compartments. Oh, this is mine. ಇದು ನಂದು, ಇದು ಕಾಮರ್ಸ್, ಇದು ನಂದು, ನಾನೇ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಾನೇ ಕಂಪ್ಯೂಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ನಾನೇ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಲೋಡ್, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮೈಸೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು, ಏನೇನೋ personal issues. So that has made now this policy is now opening up the previous one only, that all subject experts should teach, and you should the person, I mean the student, should also have a chance to pursue any subject of his interest in some other domain, so that there is a holistic development of the students. That is the spirit of the new policy. But whether it is implementable, whether we are ready for it, is a $1 million question, which we shall discuss in due course of time. Now, going forward, what are the changes and innovations that we can pursue in, say, 2030, 2040 down the line? What is going to happen? What is it? Now, this is already being done in the pandemic era. We have now been opening ourselves up to technology-driven teaching learning mode. But how far we have been able to accept it on a personal level, and also make the students, also make them to accept, in spite of, as you said, technology is not completely, penetrated now. There is definitely digital divide. The larger part of the social, the lower part of this social strata of society do not have access to digitization, and therefore any technology driven teaching learning process will only be consumed by elite people, not the downtrodden, is one apprehension that most of the experts have voiced in the last 1.5 years. But now that there are very little option, even the government has to pitch in order to see that the digital infrastructure, even in the rural areas, has to be strengthened. Maybe 1 or 2 years down the line, are we looking at a situation that this is going to be the order of the day, and as teachers we should be prepared? You can see that then there is a change in the entire higher education ecosystem to ensure that all the pieces align and the institute functions smoothly to deliver a quality experience. Now, what does that mean? Curriculum and pedagogy could be revised to incorporate formal, informal, physical and virtual elements to enhance learning. So now it's a combination of all of them. That is what we say hybrid learning. These are all very slogans. I know that. Iga ತುಂಬಾ ರೂರಲ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಅಡಚಣೆಗಳಿದಾವೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರೆ 1 or 2 years, 3 years down the line, are we looking at that? Slowly and surely, are we shifting our journey towards it? Or do you say that no, it's still at a very, very nascent stage, it's still in the preliminary stage, still a long way to go in order to see that we are going for that blended learning? Only the top universities or top colleges which are financially sound can afford to have this kind of a system, but for the lower strata of society, where the colleges are in remote places, I don't think this is going to be implemented, at least in the near future. What is your takeaway? I would like to listen to you. New models of education focused on blended learning, blended learning ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೇನು ಇಲ್ಲ. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಬಂದಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ನಮಗೆ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಯೇಟ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಇಂದ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಕಾಣಿಸುತ್ತೆ. 60% ಆಫ್ಲೈನ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, 40% ಎಲ್ಲ ಸರೋದ್ರೂ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ರು 40% ನೀವು ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಹೈಬ್ರಿಡ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ಬ್ಲೆಂಡೆಡ್ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮೈಕ್ರೋ ಕ್ರೆಡೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಈಗ ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದು ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್? you can pursue, say for example, you are pursuing a BSc in computer science from University of Mysore, and the University of Mysore has got some memorandum of understanding with some foreign university or some other advanced higher educational institution within the country, a collaboration wherein it offers a soft skill kind of a certification, say communication skills, communication and negotiation skills. That's a certification course. Now, this fellow will be allowed to take up that course, and in the process, he will be able to earn 1 credit or 2 credits or 3 credits, depending upon the rigor of the course. So this is called as micro credit, small little what do you call, fast food kind of courses, which makes them to skill up. It is essentially, say, now being, the employment market is being very, 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 I mean, it's very difficult to get jobs. Therefore, unless you skill up, unless you have multitasking skills, multi credentials, you'll not be able to venture into a job market. So in order to make him, more employable, these courses are again interdisciplinary. This is again being done. See, if you are doing, taking up one course here, say a science fellow will be interested in knowing the dynamics of the stock market, which will be offered in a commerce department or management department. So when you give this kind of a flexibility to the learning process, then there is a possibility that there is a value creation for these students. Now, this is going to be the future. This is going to be the future. Then integration of technology across teaching and assessment could deliver a quality education. That is always there. Technology is here to stay. And those teachers who are, unless they somehow, it's going to be tough for many of them, but there is no other go. See, there is a saying, no, when you are pushed back to the wall, you retaliate. So innovation happens only in adversity. Innovation will never, there is an urgent need. Necessity is the mother of invention. Yes, this is what I was trying to get. Necessity. Now, unless you get used to this, say I'm sitting here in front of the camera, I'm not seeing you at all. I never ever imagined at one fine day I'll be like this. ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಹೇಳಿದಿದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು 5 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ ಇನ್ನು 5 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಈ ತರ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ನಂಬಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅದು ರಿಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಆಗೇ ಹೋಯ್ತು. ಈಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಿಧಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಂಡು at least at this point in time we are in a situation where we are able to deliver. So situation now is warranting us to embrace technology and add technology to our teaching skills. And there are so many courses where you can learn as to how to improvise your online teaching mode. There are many companies which are giving training for that. So you may have to, because you have to sustain. You still have, say, another 15-20 years of service left. You just cannot just keep quiet and just go do whatever that is you have been doing. You will have to innovate. You will have to subject yourself to experiments. And senior teachers using technology to perfection, because they have the content, they have been experienced. Only thing is that they did not have the control over technology. Now that they are mastering that art also, their impact is tremendous. I have seen very good senior teachers using technology to the core and delivering high class lectures. I have seen, I've sat in their classes. I'm very happy. Then development models that could help faculty upskill across different disciplines and areas. I don't know how to develop, you've been given lots of training, refresher courses, orientation courses, soft skill training like this. I really do not know. You should tell me now. Anyway, after this session, you are going to discuss that also, I think, in HRDC, that what is the level of, what are the takeaways? But I would say these are the kinds of courses and the training, the faculty development programs that definitely adds value. I feel that so, because I have also gone through these kinds of courses 4 times before I became the selection grade lecturer at that point in time. And let me tell you, teaching is one area where technology cannot completely replace the teachers. I've sat under certain, I'll just narrate one example, just a passing thought. I was in Hyderabad Academic Staff College. We were in management and commerce orientation. One professor from Osmania University, dealing with, say, mathematics professor, I believe, he came and he started teaching us infinity. Infinity was the topic. Infinity and management, how are they related? We were worrying. And as you know, sitting through these sessions are always difficult, no? ಈಗ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಹುಡುಗರಿಗೆ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೀವಿ ಅಂತ. ನಮ್ಮ ಹುಡುಗರು ಹೆಂಗ್ ಕೂತಲ್ಲ ಆ ಕಡೆ, how much pain that we are inflicting on our own students, we come to know when we are there on the other side. ಸರಿ, ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇದೇ ತರ 2 ಗಂಟೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಊಟ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೈದರಾಬಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡಿ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ರೈಸ್ ಬಿರಿಯಾನಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ತಿಂದು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಜಾಗಗಳು ಹುಡುಕಂತ ಇದ್ರು. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ತಪ್ಪಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬೇಡ ಕೇಳಕ್ಕೆ. ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ರ ಸರ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ನನ್ ನೆನಪಿದೆ. ಆ ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ 1.5 ಗಂಟೆ ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಇನ್ನೇನು ಹೇಳಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅವರು. ಅವರ ಡೆಮಾನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್, ಅವರ ಲೈವ್ ಡೆಮಾನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್, ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಆಡ್ ಟು ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ, ಇದನ್ನ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರು. Say is a mathematics professor, but as teachers there are so much of takeaways, even though you're not understanding anything from for your personal discipline domain subjects, but as a teacher, how can you use the mic, the stage? He was telling like this, I don't know whether it is visible over there. He was telling, infinity means samudram, sea is infinity. Anything that you add to sea is sea. You add a glass of water. He used to pick up a glass and he used to say like this, you add a glass of water to the sea is equal to sea. You add a dumbbell of water is equal to sea. Sea plus one river of water. He used to literally show us the river in the classroom. So these are, see, even though sometimes you may feel, most of the teachers have this problem also. Let me tell you this. They will not sit to listen. They will sit to judge. Judgment seat ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಹೇಳೋದಿಷ್ಟೇನೆ, ಈ ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗದೆ ಹೋದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ, ಸಣ್ಣ ಮಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಗಳಂತೂ ಹಾಗೆ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಕೆಲವಂತೂ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾರ್ಡಿನರಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಕೆಲವರು ಏನೇನು ಮಾಡಿರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ನೀವೇನ್ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೋತೀರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿ ಈ ತರ ಮಾಡಬಾರದು ಅಂತ ಆದ್ರೂ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೋತೀವಿ. ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ there. You will say, oh, ಇವ್ರು ನೋಡಪ್ಪ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸಿಟಿ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಈ ತರ ಮಾಡೋದು. At least you will get confidence. Yes, I can also, I am far better. I should not do like this. I should not abuse my dominant position. At least you learn that. Then collaborative and cooperative research efforts. Collaborative research efforts means collaboration between different institutions to conduct collaborative research. Say, we conducted in our department, we conducted one Ministry of Rural Development project. I was the principal consultant for that. But we drew people from IDS, Institute of Development Studies, economics, and MSW. All of us sat together and we executed that project. So in doing so, there is a network, as it is being written there, a network of knowledge exchange, resources and common goals to work towards. That is going to increase the kind of bonhomie, we call it as friendship, collaboration between the disciplines, because they are all social sciences. Essentially, they are all social sciences. Instead of having that watertight compartment, just open up, embrace people from other department, try to do a collaborative research. That's going to be the new order. And development of sustainable funding models. This is again very important. These days, funds for higher education is slowing down, and now it's been given priority, to the concerned institutions, concerned universities to generate funds. So cost cutting approach by the policymaker sometimes makes us to innovate and to try to come out with certain courses which are market driven, and also there are takers for that by paying fees. But you should ensure, being a public university, we ensure that there is a scheme called Scheme B, where we generate funds so that that fund will be utilized in order to make higher education reach the underprivileged. So therefore you are robbing Peter to pay Paul. Rob Peter to pay Paul. This is the idea. You have a scheme where you generate funds and at the same time see that higher education also reaches to the people who do not have an access to higher education. Anyway, these are going to be the new order, and building and institutionalizing a strong technology infrastructure could help boost internal operations and processes, student experience and teaching and learning, and all optimal utilization of the existing assets. Because if you come to University of Mysore, I think you'll be really surprised to see some of the initiatives which have been taken in our university. Say, be it the Kannada department that is being given so much of impetus by none other than Kuvempu. You can just see the kind of literary work that is there in our Kannada department, or in our publication Prasaranga, and all the old art exhibitions that we have in Oriental Institute. These are all the existing assets are rich. We are rich in, and they have to be optimally utilized for the future generation. Now we are talking about education 4.0. The new paradigm is defined by high-speed internet, mobile technology, social media platform, facilitating personalized learning anytime, anywhere, and changing the role of the teachers to facilitators and mentors. Now you are in the new paradigm. Teacher's job is very has become more than only teaching, because information knowledge is there everywhere. You have to now facilitate and mentor the students. So that is going to be the key. And education institutions and regulatory bodies, especially the Ministry of Education, UGC, AICTE, all these could embrace new and emerging technologies and processes at a much faster rate. This includes flexibility, customization, student experience, and technology integration. These are the changes that we are going to see in the near future in education 4.0. And this could help formally regulate and propel the future of education in the right sustainable direction. Now, this is the essence of the future education as envisaged in the new policy, and also what is required in the aftermath of this unprecedented crisis, which has started as a health crisis. It has turned out to be an economic crisis, and then it is now, we can say that there is not even a single walk of life which is unaffected by this pandemic. In a way, I would like to ask you this question, because you're all my colleagues out there. Is this an inflection point? Is COVID be an inflection point? Is this a point where you're looking at a new moral technological economy? Are we going for a major transformational change in the way our higher education is going to operate in future, or any other industry for that matter? Are we going towards meritocracy, where people with stuff only can survive because you are in a digital world? Those people who would take all the shortcuts and resort to all unscrupulous means to touch the glory, will that now come down? Will it be more transparent because of this technology? Are you on a scanner, on a public scanner as a teacher? You are teaching within 4 walls, and you are the king in the classroom or the queen in the classroom. But now you are there in the public domain. Every word, every word spoken is there out there. There's no privacy. There's no privacy. So now, has it created a kind of a hindrance? Is it an obstacle? Or is it the way forward? Now there is no other way. There is no alternative mode that is in place. So therefore, shall we accept, embrace change and innovation, and move forward? Yes, with these questions, I stop, and I would like you people to interact, because this is the last session. I know you're all very happy. Sadhya mugitala anta. Sadhya mugitala.
Thanks for that thought-provoking session of yours. So, as you said, world has changed a lot post-corona and prior to corona. The world has changed a lot, and we are witnessing a lot of change in every sphere of life. Let it be education, let it be again IT sector, or any field, let it be. So, what I mean to say is, like, as you told, everything is monitored and closely scrutinized by the people. The job of a teacher is is closely monitored nowadays. So as you said, everything is documented. Once we hear something in the with help of technology, like, it's not like we should not think that it is not unobserved. It doesn't go unnoticed. Okay, everything is closely monitored, closely scrutinized, and for that purpose, keeping that in mind, a job of a teacher is a more responsible job nowadays, and he has to be fully aware that he has to go with a lot of preparation in front of his class, like before going to teach. So in that way, like as you said, whatever the points that you put in in those slides were accurate and perfect. But the thing is, those slides were like just passing on. I could not make some notes. Again, all the points that you discussed in those slides were very, very important. So thank you for that innovative and thought-provoking session, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because I have not, taken classes such a varied audience. I was told that there are 15 disciplines teachers are out there. So when I was told that the composition of this group, I was also a little nervous in the beginning.
In fact, your session should have been the launching session. It should have been in the first session.
Thank you.
Because change is part of life, and we have to accept it. So it should not have been in the landing part.
The landing is again another very important responsibility.
Yes, of course.
It's also important. Finally, you go back with the fond memory. There is something called the recency effect. You'll forget the first 2-3 days. You'll always remember the last 1 or 2 days.
You mean to say that the taste lingers?
Yes.
The last.
May I know which subject you are from, sir?
English, Department of English, KSOU.
Beautiful. KSOU.
Yes.
Oh. Good English.
I'm a good friend of Chinaya, your close friend. Chinaya.
Okay. He is my research scholar. He did his PhD under my guidance.
Oh, okay. Your student.
Yes. Surma, Manjunath. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ನನಗೆ ಈಗ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅವರು KSOU-ನವರು. ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಗಿಸಿದ್ರೆ 1 ವಾರ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಸರ್, ತಮ್ಮ ಸೆಷನ್ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಥಾಟ್ ಪ್ರೊವೋಕಿಂಗ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಸರ್. ಬಟ್ ನೀವ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತಾ ಇವತ್ತು ನ್ಯೂ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ತಾವು ಟೀಚರ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನಲ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ರೆಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಜಗತ್ತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಸಿಡಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನರಸಿಂಹಯ್ಯ ಅವರು ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಒಂದ್ ಮಾತು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಟೀಚರ್ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಅಂತ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್.
ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಆ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಅದನ್ನ ಒಂದ್ ರೀತಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೀಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ರೀತಿಯ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಏನು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರಸ್ತುತ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ನಾವು ನ್ಯೂ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಆಗ್ಲಿ, ನ್ಯೂ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಪಾಲಿಸಿಗೆ ನಾವ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಹೊಂದಾಣಿಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದೆಲ್ಲ ಬಹಳ ಅರ್ಥಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಸರ್. ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಪಾಂಡಿತ್ಯಪೂರ್ಣವಾದ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್.
Thank you so much. Sir, ಬಂದ್ರಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಸರ್.
ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೀವಿ ಸರ್. Good
afternoon, sir. Your session was very enlightening You spoke about the change which is inevitable, the change which we cannot stop. And you told us how we can better equip ourselves with the use of the technology in the present situation. As teachers, we need to learn to cope up and be prepared, mentally prepared to accept this change and motivate our students also to move forward with this change. So it was a very informative and very eye-opening session, sir. Thank you for the wonderful sessions.
Thank you for your kind words.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you, sir.
ನಾನು ಎಕ್ಸಿಟ್ ಆಗ್ಲಾ?
ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಸರ್. ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಈಗನೇ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಸರ್.
ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು half an hour ಮತ್ತೆ ಬರಬಹುದು, ಈಗಲೇ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು.
ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Dear participants, now the program is over, except the remaining one part, we can say, that is nothing but the feedback session. You can share your experience now also, or you can share your experience through WhatsApp group by putting messages. Okay, that way also you can share. ನೀವು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆಯನ್ನ ಈಗ ಕೂಡ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಹುದು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರೇ ಕೂಡ, ಒಬ್ಬರು ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೈಕು ಚಾಕು ಸಿಕ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ 1 ಗಂಟೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್. ಆ ಲೆಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಡಿ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನೀವು 2-3 ನಿಮಿಷ ಮಾತಾಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಫ್ಯೂ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಒಂದು 3-4 ಜನನ 5-6 ಜನ ಒಂದು 2-3 ನಿಮಿಷ ಅವಧಿ ತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಮೇಷ್ಟ್ರು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭಯ, 1 ಗಂಟೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು. ಆ ಭಯದಿಂದ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ರಿಕ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಇಷ್ಟೇನೆ. 2-3 ನಿಮಿಷದಲ್ಲ ಲೆಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಗಂಡ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಇಬ್ರು ಜೊತೆಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಡಬಲ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ, ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಹಂಗಾಗಿ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಇಬ್ಬರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀರಾ.
ಸರಿ ಸರ್. ಖಂಡಿತ ಸರ್.
ಸರ್ ಹೋಗಿ ನಮ್ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಸರ್, ಒಬ್ಬರೇ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಬಿಡಿ ಸರ್.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರು ಇದಾರ ಅಂತ ಡೌಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, ಗಂಡ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಇಬ್ರು ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಬಂದು. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಆಫ್ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆಫ್ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗಂಡ ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರುವಂತದ್ದು ಉಂಟು. ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಸಿಪೆಂಟ್ ಮದುವೆ ಆಗಿದ್ದುಂಟು. ಎಲ್ಲಾ ತರ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾವೇನೋ ಪುರೋಹಿತಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ,
ಕಾರಣಕರ್ತರು ನೀವೇ, ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವೇ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೃಪೆ ಸರ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಟ್ರೈನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ನಾವು ಕಾರಣ, ಮದುವೆ ಆಗಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಕಾರಣ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಶೇರ್. ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಏನಿದೆ, ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಜನರಲ್ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಫೇಸ್ ಟು ಫೇಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಇರುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ನಾಟ್ ಶೇರಿಂಗ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿನಲ್ಲಿ. ಇದೊಂದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ದೃಷ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಹಸ್ತವನಿಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಊಟ ಕೊಡೋ ಬದಲು, ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಊಟ ಕೊಡೋ ಬದಲು ಒಂದು ಬ್ರೆಡ್, ಬಿಸ್ಕೆಟ್, ಚಾಕ್ಲೇಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಪಟ್ಟ ಒಂಥರ ಈ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನನ್ನ ದೃಷ್ಟಿ. ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಒಪ್ಕೊಳ್ತಿರೋ ಬಿಡ್ತಿರೋ ಅದು ಬೇರೆ ವಿಚಾರ. ಬಟ್ 1 second ಸರ್, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್. Okay, sir. First of all, I would like to thank all the participants for your cooperation to successfully complete this short-term course on soft skills.